think I hung up on the other one. I don't know. Is it still?
We just went live, Todd. Yeah, you did. Well, how do you do, Buckaroos? This is an impromptu session with Todd Wren. Todd was going to try to join us for the last session with John Sharon from Zone 1, but he couldn't get back in time. So we decided to just do an impromptu session here. So, Todd, what are you drinking, bud?
This one I actually just picked up the other day from Perrin Brewing Company, 98 Problems IPA.
Now, where's that? Where are they from? I'm not familiar with them.
Comstock Park, Michigan.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got a milk stout here, Forest Queen milk stout from Lost 40 out of Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah, I saw your video on that the other day.
Yeah, that's pretty tasty.
You said they have another one called something King or something also?
I guess they have a Forest King that's an imperial milk stout. I saw it one time at a store. It was $21 for a 4-pack of 12-ounce cans. That seemed a little pricey, so I didn't pick it up at the time, and when I went back, it was gone.
Yeah, I was going to grab a stout, but I ended up grabbing an IPA instead. I know the weather's been more stout weather, but I had a bunch of stouts yesterday, so.
Is it cooling down in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, it's kind of flurrying earlier.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, we're not getting flurries, but we have started to chill down a little bit. It's been a very strange winter. It's been unseasonably warm for the most part.
Yeah, it has here too. It's like everything's been about 6 weeks behind weather-wise, it seems.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've been saying. It seems like the seasons have moved about a month.
Feels that way, doesn't it?
So, have you poured your beer there?
I did, yeah.
So what aromas?
When I first opened it, it kind of foamed up over the can.
Oh, well, what aromas are you getting from that?
Lots of definitely getting a lot of citrus, Cascade type hop probably. Some grapefruit. Oh, now I can hear myself in the background. A lot of floral and citrus notes, definitely on the nose. I've never had this one before. I picked up a couple of them the other day, so we're gonna try this one out.
Any specific citrus that you're feeling on the nose? Orange, grapefruit, tropical fruit?
Yeah, more grapefruit notes. To me, anyways, it feels more grapefruit than. As I took a sip of it, I feel a little more orange, maybe some orange zest to it as well.
Really? All right.
It's nice. It's very, I don't know if it's very hazy. Not real.
A hazy orange kind of, huh?
Yeah.
Almost like an apricot color, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Not overpowering. I don't know what the nose says. 6.5 ABV, but I don't see the. Wondering if maybe it could be 98 being the 98 problem.
Well, that would make sense, wouldn't
it? 65.
65. So what flavors are you getting on it?
Still, like I said, I was getting more grapefruit, and some on the back end, getting some like orange, citrus, zesty, like a zest feel. The zest of an orange. Spit it out.
Zest of an orange. There we go.
Kind of more on the back end. You get the grapefruit up front, and it's not real bitter. It kind of has some nice malt sweetness that balances it out. It's nice. I like it.
So our mutual buddy John, he said he just came back from a tasting. Well, were you doing a tasting as well, or?
No, no. I saw they were. I knew he was going over to one today. One of their buddies. I don't know where he picked up a lot of beers. I don't know if he travels a lot or what the deal was, but they were doing a buy-in. Basically, I think it was like 20, $25 a person or something.
Yeah, he said
You
it
know,
was 25. Yeah,
I don't know how many they were tasting, but it looked like quite a few.
he said there was a bunch.
Yeah, it looked like I saw a picture on Facebook. Looked like there were quite a few. You know, yesterday I did a Fight Club had their anniversary party yesterday. 6 years in operation up in Indianapolis and 2 years down here in my neck of the woods for their offsite brew facility.
Oh, nice. He was mentioning a new brewery called oh heck, what did he say the name of it was now? Mile Wide?
Mile wide, yeah. Making some fantastic beers. They've probably been open about 6 weeks, maybe 7 weeks now.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said they're making some incredible beers.
Some really good IPAs. It's kind of taking Louisville by storm. They're getting crazy popular kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, he said they're doing some amazing stuff. Now that I've heard it from two of you, I'm sure they are.
I went over there. In fact, I went over there. It was about 3 weeks ago. They had an IPA called Tessie, Tessie, and it was. I guess it got so popular so quick they're taking it off tap for a little while for some reason. But they were having a final tapping and crowler fill. You could buy crowlers of it, and the event started. It was on a Thursday. Started at 4 o'clock. My wife and I actually went over and got there at 5 o'clock. And they sold out of 52 crowlers in 10 minutes.
Holy cow, that's
And
crazy.
they had two kegs, pony 5-gallon kegs on tap. And by the time I got there, I ordered one. And as he was pouring my glass, he ran out of the first one, tapped the first one, so he had to tap into the second one within an hour's time.
Wow, that's
How
crazy.
crazy popular it's become. So
Wow.
now, I think last Thursday they tapped another IPA. It's supposed to be really good too.
Wow, that's amazing. So are they in Louisville or in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, they're in Louisville. I mean, they're 8-9 miles away from here at the most, probably.
No, that's not too bad. There you go. Man, you're getting a lot of breweries out in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, they're popping up all over the place. It's crazy. I have not been to half of them yet. Too many of them to keep up with.
Yeah, that's what John was saying. We're talking about, how much can, how many are going to be able to keep up? I think it's inevitable. I don't buy into the theory that the craft beer boom is just going to end, but as many that are opening, I don't know that all of them can be sustained.
Yeah, there was one that actually just closed up, and I don't know if they're going to relocate, but it was one of Louisville's probably, I don't know what to say first, but one of the first craft breweries. They're just actually closing up. I don't know how long they were in business, probably 20 years. BBC.
Oh, are they closing? Wow.
Yeah. And from the article, I couldn't understand whether they were reopening or relocating. Somebody else is taking over the original building and is going to open up.
Huh.
So I couldn't get a grasp or really follow the article because it didn't really make it clear whether they were reopening or not. It almost made it sound like they were just moving and reopening in a different location. But also made it sound like they were just closing for good.
I bought a few of their beers when I was out there back in 2013. I thought they were good, but nothing, nothing lit my world on fire. I didn't think anything was outstanding, and you think maybe they just got lost in the shuffle out there?
Yeah, they were. Like I said, I think they were one of the originals. They did everything. They didn't do anything out of the box, and I'm like you. I don't think anything that they did, just their standards, were anything to write home about either. I think they just kind of got lost in a shuffle of all the new breweries popping up that were just much better than they were.
And that's just going to happen. Yeah, you've got to keep yourself relevant some way.
So kind of hate to see, I hate to see any of them close, but it's almost inevitable at some point. I think, like you said, when you start getting somebody popping up.
I bought some of their regular stuff. I had their pale ale. I can't remember. I know I bought 4 different 6-packs, and then I think we got a 4-pack of their bourbon barrel imperial stuff, and it was good, but it didn't.
Doesn't blow your socks off.
Well, it wasn't big. You know what I mean? I mean, it was good,
yeah.
but the bourbon barrel notes were light. The imperial stout notes weren't outstanding. It was a good beer, just not a great one. And when you buy a beer like that, you really want it to be a great one.
Yeah, you're hoping to kind of get a little bit of a wow factor, and none of their beers, in my opinion, ever had any of the wow factor to them.
And that's a problem especially in an area like yours when craft breweries are popping up so frequently.
Factor's probably a bad usage there. I don't know. I wouldn't say wow factor, but just if you're going to do something, let's say like Shafford, for instance, they do everything. If you're going to make a beer, just make it good.
Yeah.
One that you like, if you see it, you're like, okay, I want to drink that. But BBC, if 9 times out of 10, if I saw them, I still really didn't even want to care to have a beer from them. I'd say they were terrible, but they wasn't one I just seeked out, or if there was other options, I usually went with the other options. It's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, that's going to happen with as much competition that's out there. It's going to force breweries to be relevant. You've got to find a way to make yourself relevant, or you're going to get eliminated.
Yeah, especially now, kind of like what Mile Wide's done. He kind of made a name for himself really quickly with the IPAs, and however the word spreads on a particular type of beer that becomes so popular so fast. It definitely helps out. I don't know what the strategy was behind that or how it just took off, but through word of mouth, it just became popular quick. And like I said, I had it, and it was every bit worth the hype. It was an excellent IPA.
Yeah, whatever it is, you've got to find a niche.
I have found that a lot of the newer breweries, though, are a lot of them you're finding where you can get some good, I don't know, gourmet cooking, or I don't know if that's the right type of what I'm trying to say, but are mixed in with local chefs and whatnot. But a lot of the breweries opening up now aren't even offering food. It's just you can bring your own, call delivery, or whatever the case may be.
I think that's
you find a good mix of where you can get food and where you can't get food.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I've seen a lot where they'll bring a food truck in, especially on the weekends, and not serving food yourself. That allows that helps keep your overhead down.
Absolutely.
Let somebody else deal with the food end, and you just provide the good beer.
Yeah, that's what I've seen on a lot of them. They, like you said, they'll set up food trucks, and that's a good, there's nothing wrong with that either. I think that's a good thing too.
Yeah. And a lot of them will make a deal out of it. They'll keep rotating the food trucks. That way there's an interest for that, whatever that food truck might be too,
Right, drawing some new crowd every time. And then in hopes to snag them with your beer.
So as far as that beer you're drinking now, have you noticed any changes as we've talked over a few minutes now? Has it changed? Has it warmed a little?
I feel more of the malt kind of sweetness up front than I was getting earlier as it's warmed up. Not as strong on the hops, even though it's what I say 62 IBUs. It's a good beer. I like it. Still getting more grapefruit than maybe a little tangerine, orange, peel, and zest, and in the back. Good beer, though. I'd recommend it if you can find it.
Well, on my milk stout here from Lost 40, the Forest Queen, basically a whole lot of chocolate, a whole lot of, I'm going to say, semi-sweet chocolate on the nose. It's a very enjoyable milk stout. It's a little sweet, but not overly so. Lost 40s out of Little Rock, Arkansas. They're doing some pretty good stuff out there. They're a nice little brewery.
They distribute much, or just got to pick it up there?
As far as well, they do distribute throughout Arkansas, but I haven't found their beer outside of Arkansas.
Which is kind of what you see a lot of times with most of the breweries as we have in Louisville here. Not many of them are packaging and selling them outside of the brewery itself.
That's become a trend too. I've noticed that with a few of the Northwest Arkansas breweries, Bike Rack, Bentonville Brewery, New Province. I mean, they're right now they're only doing kegs. They're not bottling at all. They're just you can get their stuff in their tap rooms and in a lot of the restaurants and bars around the area. But yeah, I think a lot of them are trying to avoid that overhead and not even bottle or can right away.
Yeah, so that kind of makes it, which I can see why they would do it. Just makes it a little difficult to try to get some of their beers unless you just actually go to the brewery itself.
Yeah,
With so many of them around, it's just hard to make your rounds at all of them.
there's getting to be a lot. I mean, we've got Springfield has White River, Mothers, and Springfield Brewing Company. There's one I don't think they're open yet called Lost Signal. They were scheduled to open up at the end of last year, but I don't think they did. The last time I heard they weren't open yet. But and then I've got Show Me Brewing, which is basically a home brew shop that brews 10 gallons at a time. You can get beer by the glass there, but they do have 12 beers on tap. So I mean that's an extreme nano brewery. Northwest Arkansas just they're getting to be a bunch of them out that way.
How's the Show Me Brewing? Are they doing? They selling more beer? Or are they selling more homebrew stuff?
They they have 12 taps, and at one time they had mostly guest taps, but now they've got just their stuff on tap. So they don't always have all 12 going, depending on how much business they're only doing 10 gallons at a time. So they're trying to keep up with 12 taps doing 10 gallons at a time. So, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting because you walk in there and it's a home brew shop, but you can sit down at the bar and have and have a glass or two or three beers, just sit at the bar like you're out. Or you can get a growler to go. And so it's a very interesting and unique concept. I haven't seen a place like this before. I don't know if there's others out there like this, but I've never seen one.
Yeah, there's none here locally that I know of either. Seems like a great concept.
Just before Christmas, they had a beer called the Sleeping Bear, an India Dark or Black IPA, and it was 10.9%, 101 IBUs, and it is the best Imperial India Dark that I've ever had. I mean, it was just beyond beautiful.
They have mainstays, or do they just rotate and have new ones all the time? Like if you go back your week, they have some of the same ones, or
I think the plan is to keep maybe 3 or 4, flagships, and then keep rotating the rest. But they've only been open for just short of a year, so they're still trying to figure out, what people are looking for. But I think the goal is to just have maybe 3 or 4 all the time, or at least certain styles, and then keep rotating everything else.
That's kind of a problem against the grain. Well, I don't say it's a problem. I mean, it's not a bad thing. Taps at their brew house and restaurant is always something different. Now they have their you can get that they can or bottle and distribute. But you can get those all, kind of on a regular basis. But when you go to their actual tap house, it's never the same thing. It's always something new, it seems.
Last time I was out there, they had a bourbon barrel. They used Buffalo Trace bourbon barrels. It was a bourbon barrel quad, and it was just freaking amazing.
Sounds good.
Oh, man. So as we get ready to wrap up, any final thoughts on the beer you're drinking?
Real crisp and clean, smooth. Not over it's a good malt. and hop balance. Nothing overpowering, especially for what I say 6.5%. It's a good easy drinking beer. It doesn't taste like 6.5.
So is it one you'd buy again?
Yes, I would definitely buy it again. I would pick it up again.
There you go. And this Forest Queen, yeah, it's a nice solid milk stout. It's not as sweet as some, which works for me. So I recommend it. If you're able to find it, I recommend picking it up. So there you go. Hey, I am Tom the Beer Whisperer. We'll finish this session up. Hey, thanks for joining me, Todd.
Thanks, Tom.